Hello, I'm Kim Porter, transformational life and business coach. And today let's talk about what it takes to go pro. And I'm also going to share some tips from Steven Pressfield's book, Turning Pro, which I think has a lot of good information and tips in it. So this is the year that we got to make the decision to do the thing, right? So I feel like a lot of us have been derailed or our attention's been taken away. I've seen a lot of people have to give up on their dreams to get a real job. We've had a tough couple years. So this is the year that we make the decision to refocus, to get pro, go pro, make the decision to start the business, to learn something new, to do something different, because if we don't do something different, we're going to get the same results, right? So I feel like this is the year that we're all kind of crossing our fingers and thinking, okay, we can do this, right? Like now we can get back on track. And I feel like a lot of people have gotten off their path. And the beauty about our life purpose is we can never be off our path. We can only be on our path. But the farther away we are from what we feel is our dreams, our destiny, our goal, our purpose, then the worse we feel. And the more it feels like we are off our path. So we can never be off our path completely. It's just sometimes we're, further away than we want to be. So let's talk about tips for turning pro. So Steven Pressfield's book, I've read a couple of his books. I love The War of Art. That one is a beautiful book. That one is The War of Art, Break Through the Blocks and Win Your Creative Battles, a practical guide to avoid roadblocks, resistance, self-sabotage, and then mixed in is some tough love. So I love The War of Art. This Turning Pro is tap into your inner power and create your life's work. This one is how to go from amateur to professional. And I think there's a lot of people who get stuck in self-sabotage, who, have a dream, but they get stuck in bad habits and they just don't quite get the traction. Then there's a lot of us who went pro, but then the world derailed, and you couldn't do the things that you normally would do. So I think that there's, different ways that people can stay stuck in amateur and not go pro. But once you recognize the behaviors, then it's easier to kind of make the decisions to make the commitment to go professional. So this book, Turning Pro, has an amateur defined as someone who's living a shadow self. They stay in their comfort zone. They live predictable lives. They're acting as their persona, so their identity. So they're like, my name is Kim. This is my job. These are my labels. This is who I am. So they've created this persona, since like a child. This is who I am. And they're just living in that persona and not actually living their authentic selves. Excuses, procrastination, and self-sabotage. And then Turning Pro is being aligned with your true self, stepping into your power, moving past fear, getting past resistance for good, getting past resistance for good, right? Because that resistance can come and go. And start living the life that you want, not settling for less. So going pro doesn't just mean like you're a professional basketball player. It means going pro in your life, that you're living the life aligned with your purpose, with your dreams, and that you're not using self-sabotage and bad habits to keep you stuck. So this book is great. It's got great stories. I highly recommend reading it. And one of the quotes that I really loved was, "The sure sign of an amateur is he has a million plans and they all start tomorrow." Which I thought was interesting, since we're at the beginning of the year. We all have these, I don't do New Year's resolutions, but lots of people do resolutions, and I'm going to eat better, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to write the book, and I'm going to do all the things. And then by the end of the month, most people have gone back into their habits. So this is a great time to get motivated, to get inspired, to do the thing that you've been wanting to do. So this book gives a lot of practical advice, and the biggest thing with turning pro is making the decision. You get tired of your own BS, right? You get tired of your own excuses and your own limiting beliefs, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so sick of myself. Like there's no reason for me not to do this other than the chatter that goes on in here. So it takes courage. It takes a plan. You have to limit distractions. It takes commitment, holding yourself accountable, and it takes work. It takes work to decide and make the commitment and go for it. So, I had another note about turning pro when you get tired of your own BS. So BS can be that, and it can also be like your belief systems, your beliefs about what you're capable of and what your purpose is and things like that. So if we can decide that this is the year that we're going to go pro, that we're going to stop letting resistance and fear and worry block us from what we really want to be doing, then we have to make the commitment, and we have to decide, and we have to make a plan, and more than just having the resolutions, you have to make concrete goals and say, this is what I want, this is when I want it, this is how I'm going to achieve it, and get really clear about what it is that you want to accomplish. So I hope that this helps. I highly recommend all of Steven Pressfield's books, especially The War of Art and Turning Pro. Really good if you're creative, you want to be a business owner, you have ideas, you want to be a writer, an actor, like all these, big lofty dreams that a lot of people will scoff at. These books are really great for saying, you know what, you're born here on this earth with these gifts. It's time for you to share them with the world. So I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments what you thought, and if you've read these books, what you thought about them, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.